Hello guys, for this episode, I will be teaching you how to use this Bapa's material to texture the fantasy well. Okay? So before we start texturing, what you need to add is you need to add 4 image texture node over here and group it and name it as bake because we will use this part as baking and mark all the group as fake user like this. Okay? And then you right click over here and mark as asset. Okay, so currently I already mark as asset and save it. So if you go to your asset browser workspace, you can do it just by go to general layout and change this to asset browser. Now you have Bapak's material over here. So what usually usually I will group it to somewhere that it should be, because if not then it will be messy. Your asset browser will be messy, and then you save it. Okay, now let's go to the fantasy world textures. Okay, so this file I will give it to you for free by Google Drive. Okay. So I will not teach you how to texture everything, but I will teach you how to use, because the method is the same for all the parts. Okay, so for now, for this episode, I will just teach you how to texture the bricks. Okay, so this is the final version. This is how it will looks like, how it will look of the final version. But if you don't want to texture like this, you can texture how you want. It's up to you. Okay, so go to textures. Okay, so before you start anything, make sure you add a sphere over here and 2 plane. So this plane will be used for baking the final textures. Okay, if the UV is tileable like this, but if your UV is unique UV, then you don't have to use the plane to bake. But I like to use the plane so that there will be no empty space, like there will be no dark black texture anywhere. Okay, so let's get started. So I will texture the bricks. So first of all, you need to export your UV first. So UV, export UV layout, and then export wherever you want. So it's like me, I'll export here, fantasy well. I export it as 2K size. Okay, then you go here, add new, and add a image textures, open your fantasy well UV. Okay, so now what you want to do, you want to add some cuts for the UVs that are tileable. Okay, alright, so this one is tileable and this one also tileable. Okay, so there are 3 tileable textures, the others are uniques. 1, 2, 3. So now you can add a material and assign it and name it as whatever you want. Top bricks, and give it some colors. And then for the second one also the same. This one is bricks, assign, and okay, and the third one is base. Okay, now you want to link this well to this plane. So you select the well first, and then you select the plane. You press Ctrl L and link materials. Alright. Okay, before we go further, I will make a backup. Alright, so for this one I will undo first. So this I will share with you this file later on. So now I'll be texturing over here, Fantasy 3.0. Alright, so now let's get started. Now after you link the materials, what you want to do is you want to assign it accordingly. So L, assign, L, assign. Okay, Now you have these two are linked together. So now you can go to shading, and let's start texturing. So what is the function of this is for you to copy and paste your material, your nodes. So you select everything, Control C, and then you select this part, and let's start with bricks. For this, let's start with base first, because base is just concrete, so it's easier. So press X to delete all the nodes, and Control V to paste the nodes. Okay, so now the concrete is done. Okay, if you want to use this texture, then it's done, but if you not, then maybe you can add some variation. So before starting to play with the setting, make sure you press the numbers on here, so that it will not disturb the original material. So this I will call it as concrete material. Concrete, I just call it as concrete base. Okay, so this one, maybe you can turn off the color control, turn on the hue, so it's just the same. If the same, then doesn't matter. Now you see that there are seam over here. So how to solve this problem is because it's a tolerable UV, right? So that's why it have seams. So you need to make sure that the colors are almost the same, so that the seam will not look that obvious, like this. Now you see the seam are gone, but it's actually there, but from far you can't really see it, right? Okay, so this one I use the concrete textures from the original file. Okay, so I want to use this, just use this texture as my concrete texture, and then I'll go to here, color variation. Let's add some color variation. So maybe for this one, I want to change the color to green, but I don't want to use concrete, I want to use other textures. So I will remove all this first, and usually for color variation I will use rust textures, because rust is rich of colors. So when you change the hue, the color will remain rich. Okay, so let's go to the texture library. Where's my rust texture? Here is the rust texture. Then assign it accordingly. So again, where's the rust texture just now? Rust. Okay, press Ctrl C and then Ctrl V. It's easier, just copy and paste the link. Okay, so for roughness and normal, make sure the color space is non-color data, or non-color lah. Okay, so don't need to use any AO. Color control, yes, you need to use some color control now, but you can't see the color variation, right? Because you need to connect the mask, you need to make the mask first. So let's add some mask. So go to our texture library and go to imperfection or grunge, sorry. Okay, where to get these textures, the grunge textures, is you can get it from ambient CG, and you just search for imperfections. Then there are many grunge over here, grunge map. So I want to use this texture over here, and let's see the results. But first you need to make sure that the colors are different. Okay, so this is grey and this is grey, so the color variation will not look interesting, because it's different. This is the same color, kan? So you change the location first. Okay, and then maybe you can add the saturation back. Color control is 0, and maybe this one 0.5. Or maybe if you don't want to use color saturation, you don't want to make it brown, you want to make it other color, maybe green, right? So add some color control and make it as green. Maybe like this. Maybe this green is good, maybe. I'm not sure. Okay, let's use this one. Let's use this one. Okay, so now Control Shift left click over here, and you will see that you have some color variation over here. Okay, So now, but the normal map is not that strong. So how to make it stronger? How to make it stronger? Okay. So to make it stronger, usually I'll just connect this to here and put some overlay. Change the mix to overlay. Where is the overlay texture? Okay, overlay. And then you can control the strength. See, it's not that obvious, but it have some difference. Okay. So this one, the color is not that good, that nice. Make it brighter. You can make it like moss like that. Yeah, it's up to you. What color you want to use, want to make. How the looks that you want to make. Okay. So now the color is done. For the concrete, base concrete is done. But if you want to add some more, then it's up to you. Let's say if you want to add some edge dirt or ground dirt, right? You can add that. So by using this dirt group, it's already have the rust textures on it. So let's add some dirt. So select all this, Shift D. Okay, now connect this to factor, and we will use this gradient for masking. Okay, now you have to use this plane because the UV is based on this plane. Okay, because we will bake the UV, the textures on this plane, so we will use this plane as guide. So let's move it around. Why is this? Okay. So I want it to be a ground texture. So it will have to I have to rotate it 180 degree first. Now we can put it over here. Okay, and then converter, color ramp. Okay, I want it to be over here. Alright, so the dirt will be on the bottom like this. So now let's see the final result. How does it looks? Okay, still the same because we need to change the color first. So saturation is 1. Now you see there are dirts over here. So this dirt, I want to make it darker. Okay, and I want to make it higher like this. Okay, so now but the thing is, the dirt is very union, right? It's like straight line like that. So need to add some variation. You can make it like this. Shift A, color, mix RGB, and then duplicate this mask again. Shift D, put it over here, and connect this to color number 2. And maybe you can make it as screen first, maybe. And you can add some grunge note. Maybe you can add this one, but I usually will add this one because I like this one. And now you can see that you have some variation. Now to see the difference, maybe you can turn off, turn on. See, it's not that obvious, but it have some difference. Okay, now you see the texture is not good, so you need to change the location and all that. Oh, so sorry, it's not this one, it's this one. You need to change this so that the texture doesn't look, so that the texture will look seamless lah. It's actually not seamless, but it looks seamless. Alright. Okay, now looks good. Now change the color of dirt. I want to make it more dark like that. Okay, maybe can give it some, change the hue a little bit. Nah, I think this one is fine. Yeah, So now we have a concrete texture, a, okay, concrete textures. Okay, so for the next episode, I will teach you how to texture the bricks. I will show you how to texture the bricks. Basically, the method is the same. You just repeat the same method for all the materials. Okay, then you get the result that you want. Okay, I think that's it from me. Thank you. Bye bye.